Rana George, I want to welcome you to Christiana's Psychic Cafe. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I am very well. It's so nice to see you. Now, you and I have chatted a few times, but we've never met in person. But I am a huge fan, and I'm so happy to have this opportunity to speak with you today.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That really means a lot to me. Thank you.
So, I think most people watching know who you are. I think anyone who is at all interested in fortune telling, divination, cards, people know your name. I knew your name long before I knew what you looked like or even how to pronounce Lenormand. Did I get it right this time?
Bravo. Good job.
So you are the author of The Essential Lenormand.
Yes.
Do you have a handy show people? I have it, but it's on my Kindle. And I have to tell you, I'm happy to have it on my Kindle because it travels with me, but
Yeah.
I'm going to get it. I want it that
Yeah.
way too.
I love it. Look how beautiful the cover and the colors. Isn't it like so me? It's totally me with the purple and the blue and the jewels and the key, the most important key.
Okay. So I wanted to ask a few questions, and I know we have a very exciting announcement today, but I wanted to ask just a couple of questions about your history. One of the things that I really enjoy about your book, The Essential Lenormand, is it shares a lot about your history. In the book, there's a picture of your original deck of cards.
Yes.
And that's just, I sometimes just look at that picture and I just think that's so wonderful. You share stories about the cards, different times that the cards have come up for you and what it's meaned. What it meant at the what it means, that's not a word, what it meant.
Yes. Yes.
That's the word, what it meant at the time.
Yes.
But I wanted to really go back to the very beginning. How did this all start? How did you start reading these cards?
How did I start reading these cards? It's so back when I was totally a child, we had a neighbor, and he was. I mean, now I know what he was. He was, but back then he was just, Amo Charles, which is Uncle Charles for me, and he used to spend a lot of time over my family's house, and later I found out that he was part of the Order of La Croix Rose, and he is like super, like he's one of the top and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, what he did is basically he took me under his wing, and he used to like sit with me a lot and show me a lot of stuff, and try to hone in. Like he used to tell my mom, this is so weird, he used to tell my mom, she has a strong star. Her star is strong over her head. And I never understood that. I still don't understand what that meant. And but he knew the history of my family, and he knew that my great grandfathers, were all like seers and psychic, and they had all that kind of stuff. So he knew. So when I came into the crazy stuff, he helped a little bit, but then he was gone because there was war. But what he did is he left a deck of cards with my mom. So my mom started playing with that deck of cards, and he told her to give it to me whenever. And she used to play with it, and I used to watch her play with it. And back then I was like, 11 or 12. I think so. And eventually I started using the card, and I started taking them and reading with them. And I honestly did not know that they're called, Lenormand, everything, because it was a weird looking deck. It wasn't like a bona fide. I mean, if you saw it, it has Arabic. It has, it looked like, one of those packs they used to give in the cigarettes, and back around the time where the French, the French army was in Beirut and all that kind of stuff. So it was something like that, but it was brand new when he gave it to her. So, and this is how I used it as a tool to help me with my other stuff, to kind of like because it was kind of chaotic, everything. So that would help me. So this is how I started. And basically I literally started with neighbors coming up to me and asking me, stuff like, is my daughter's suitor good for her? Is she gonna get married? Is my, son's gonna get that job? Is my, and they used to come up with these little mamoul and cakes and I still remember this pineapple upside down cake. I'll never forget that. I saw the cake. I'm like, can I eat first before I do the reading? So this is how it started. I mean, it was all my teenage year that I.
Now, was it typical in Beirut at this time for young ladies to do this?
No.
No.
No. No. I was super lucky, super lucky because my mom grew up in like she knew her family. She knew where she came from. She knew her, her both grandfather on both sides. And so she knew all that stuff. So that's why she was able, that's why she didn't call me crazy, where a lot of people called me crazy. No, it was really hard, going to especially high school and well, we didn't have high school, we had baccalaureate, the French system, and going to college. I went the first year in college in Beirut, and it was I felt it was a curse with whatever was going on, and even like the reading, even though like they would come to me like, oh, read to me, but then during the war, it was the hardest. The worst thing is because I used to see that, and so I used to predict that, so people used to think I am bringing that. So it was civil war. So like literally, there's one story. I don't know if I said that. There's one story. I saw that the guy, I saw the coffin, and I was like, oh my God, you guys, you have to be careful. You really have to be careful. Please don't go into the next street fight, or don't go into whatever. I was telling that guy, and he was a friend of my fiance back then, which I knew, and it was very, very intense. And the next day, he actually died. But he shot himself cleaning his own the gun, whatever that thing. So that's how it happened. It's like he didn't go. He listened to me not to go, but it's still it's like one of those movies. So that's why people will start telling me, "Oh my God, you're a witch, you're cursed, you're this, you're that." So that wasn't fun.
No, I can imagine not. Now, when did you come to the United States?
So during the Civil War, I was 17, 18, and here, Mom had family, and she had like actually close friends. So during that time, I did at the beginning read for them and everything, and it was good, because it's like my mom used to. I was like a showcase kind of thing. So it was fun until it, the same thing happening here, and then I closed off, with I think I read it in the book. I actually wrote it in the book about that story when I was double dating with my friend, and I told the guy, like, oh, there's danger or whatever, and then I didn't know anything. I was fresh off the boat. I didn't know about drugs. I didn't know about anything, I just saw, this cute guy with a blonde mullet, and it was like woohoo to me, I've never seen anything like that. So but I mean, he got stabbed, and I mean, he's a high schooler. We were in, and when we went to see him in the hospital, the first thing, is like, get that, which item, blank, beep, 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 which, and then I was like, I just wanted the earth to swallow me, and
So how do you get from being in that place, having now been in two different countries where people think you're crazy? No, well, first crazy, but then a witch who causes bad things to happen or something like that.
Yeah.
How do you get from being there to being where you are now, an internationally recognized authority, a professional reader? How did that transition happen?
Lot of pain, lot of crying, lots of soul searching, lots of my mom is literally my rock, my everything, because she helped me through all of it. She is the one that actually kept me on believing myself, and every time I used to have doubt and everything, and she was like, no, you have to believe yourself, and she would like work on it to prove it to me, to show me that it is good, and it is, and I'm helping people and all that kind of stuff. So I would say my mom, like, really. And then after that, I got a lot of teachers. I went to a place, like, back when I was, after I gave, I went to a really, really dark place where I really asked for guidance. And then somehow I was giving guidance, and, all of a sudden I started getting teachers coming to me just like this. And they would come and go and come and go, and it was amazing. And I had plenty of teachers. They were amazing, and they helped me hone. They helped me focus. They helped me, how to give the bad. They helped me how to talk, how to do all that counseling, and basically time and life experience and reading. Just keep on reading, and how do you say it? Error and
trial and error.
Yeah, that's it. All these years of trial and error got me to here. So it wasn't it was a good ride. Let's just put it that way.
Okay. So my perception, and this may not be historically completely accurate, but my perception of things, being the American tarot reader that I am, is that you pretty much brought the concept of, the idea of a Lenormand practice as part of a tarot practice, or even as another alternative to tarot. I feel like you brought this concept to the American tarot community. What do you think about that?
Well, I might have made it more popular, but I didn't bring it per se. I mean, this has been going on for a very long time, and there's some really good teachers. They were around before me. They're amazing teachers, and they were around, and they're all over the forum, and it's been around. There was a couple of decks and a couple of Lenormand teacher and a tarot person. I think I remember Melissa was the first one that did the Lenormand, Melissa Lenormand. I remember that when it was going on, I was like, oh my god, there's a Lenormand deck, let's a Lenormand deck, which was like unheard of. So but I wouldn't say that I am the one that brought it. No, there was a lot of. I am part of a machinery. Let's put it this way.
Sure, absolutely. And and I sort of know you through my tarot friends, if you will. Do you also read tarot?
Yes. Well, this is how this happened. During my me going through all this and calling for help, and I met this group in Chicago, the Second Sunday Tarot group, when I went, and I was so scared to go meet them. Because I really wanted people like, anybody, please, send me somebody just like me or does anything like me, because I didn't know that is anybody like that. I was like literally in a closet or something. So when I went first and met them, they introduced me to the tarot world. They taught me tarot. I taught them Lenormand. They were amazing. I mean, they're the reason why I'm here, where I'm here, because they really pushed me and literally like pushed me out to go and teach and do. And then I went to New York to the Reader Studio, and I think this was the explosion there, and I met, actually Sean Nicol. He literally, like, this guy. It's like literally he just it's like somebody literally kicking you off a curb. So, and then Barbara Moore, and then the book, and here I am.
And
So
here
this
you
is
are.
this story. Yeah.
So share with us a little bit about what your practice is like right now. Do you read for people? Obviously you teach. And I know you've got a special project you're working on that I'm going to ask you about in a moment. So leave that out of it. But other than that, what's your job like these days?
I teach. I go to conferences and do presentation and teach. So I'm teaching a lot, and I'm doing a lot of readings also. And I am a mom, really. So that's like my number one, and then all the other stuff. But yeah, this is what I'm doing. So I do read. I help people, but in everything, not only. Not only reading Lenormand and because yes, I do Lenormand as my specialty and everything, but this is not this is part of a whole thing that I go through and I do, and the life coaching, the helping people, getting what they want, manifesting the life they want, bringing, attracting what they want, how to do things, how to think, how to act, there's a lot of things that goes into the Lenormand, that I mix it all, and, with tarot and, you name it.
And so if people want to book a session with you, can they go to your website? Can they work with you over the phone or over Skype?
Yes, Skype or phone or FaceTime, and yeah, my website, ranageorge.com, and yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so just one more thing. You mentioned, okay, you're a mom. I raised my kids as a full-time professional psychic, and so I just wanted to chat about that for a moment. I know that in my household there were conversations sometimes about would they prefer it if their household were more normal? Would they prefer to have a more normal mother? And they always decided that no, they were happy with it, and they're grown now and they're still happy with it, so there's hope. But how do your kids deal with this?
Okay, so this is kind of tricky because I have different ages. I have from 10 to a teenager. The thing is, our household was never normal because it's not only me that have, they have, each one of them has a different type of gift. So it was not normal. There was not an idea of ever being normal. This is normal to us. It's a perception of normal. But so at the beginning, it was hard when we were living in Chicago, in the area in Illinois. We were like, I used to always have to tell the kids not to tell their friends about their experiences because they were not, don't tell them that you saw wings last night. Don't tell them that, just, you can talk to me, you can talk to your dad, but, don't share that unless, because I didn't know anybody back then. And then eventually when I met, friends that have kids that have the same, so it became more and more open. And then when we moved here to Texas, I was like, you know what, this is who we are, and this is it. But my teenager doesn't like it very much to have a psychic mom. So, he gets caught a lot. Well, they all do. But now they kind of learn, because how you get that little ping when something, you get a ping and you go and you like catch them right there and you're like, Mom, come on, So, but the cool thing is that I'm teaching them how to use Lenormand in their own life, and they are using it, and it's really helping them in their school. And I'm really seeing how it's benefiting them. So it's really it's cool when when you see your son going and he's like, Mom, I can't study anymore. I have a test tomorrow. I studied a lot. I pulled 2 cards. It says I need to study more, but can you pull for me? I just want to make sure. Maybe I'm not, And then I get the book and the tower, and I'm like, yeah, I got the book and the tower. He's like, fine, I'll go study more. And then, because it's been working with him, so he's listening to that guidance. You know what I mean?
Well, I would think that for kids of a certain age, it would be more comfortable for them to receive guidance from the cards versus from their mother.
That's what's
right?
going on. The thing is, they go through phases, I've noticed. They go through phases where they really, really believe and they really want to get into it. Then they get into this 10, 11, 12. No, I don't know if I want to do this. This is not, I don't know. And then this is when I back off. And then after that, they come around again. So it's like a kind of a phase. So I let them try to decide what they want, what's right for them, what's in their truth, what feels comfortable, what resonates. This is very important to me.
Sure. So it's so interesting, Rana, as we hear your story, it's very clear to me that behind the professional story, there is a story of a very gifted person having to learn to accept her gifts and use her gifts and kind of integrate them into her life. And I'm thinking, I know so many people who suffer in the way that you suffered, in the way that I suffered when I was younger. It's not easy. It is a burden to have the burden of other people's knowledge.
Yes.
And not know what to do with it.
Yes.
Is tough. Now, and you've got it in your family. It's in my family too, but not as prevalent in the past few generations. It was kind of shut down. And so, in my family, I was the first one to bring it out in a long time.
Yeah.
But I think that a lot of people watching this are really going to appreciate the story of your journey because it's their story too. And to see where you are now, that you are not only so comfortable with your gifts, you're able to share them with so many people. I mean, your book sold out in like 5 minutes, didn't it?
Yeah, and the first month, I think we were on Barnes and Noble bestseller, which is like huge. Yeah, it came out in March and in April. It was it's like a big thing, that woo, yes. So I'm super happy. But I want to talk about, there is the funny, not the funny thing. Right now, this past year, nothing happened by chance. Everything happened for a reason. So a lot of young adult and in their early 20s that are going through what I went through are coming to me and are finding me. And a lot of them are suffering, and a lot of them from families that are not understanding, a lot of them so it's amazing that they're, I'm being able to guide these young minds. And for me, this is amazing. This is a blessing because I didn't have that kind of guidance. I had my mom. My mom was amazing, but she was able to do what she can. But to be able to help somebody's life and actually like see the shape is moving from here to here and see them change from the inside is like the most blessing anybody can ever have. Now I feel like it's not a curse anymore. Now I feel like it's a gift now. But it took, it's like I had to go through until but
that is such an important message for people to hear, though, because as you say, there are so many people who are suffering right now.
Yes.
And need to understand that with time, it's not going to run their lives.
Yes.
But it can be a real gift.
Yes. So just I tell
So
people, be patient. Just be patient and
so
hang in there.
I have a question, and really this is a question coming from me,
Hmm.
but I think there's a lot of people like me. We're tarot readers. We can read a tarot deck inside, outside, upside down.
Hmm.
Fascinated with what is to me a new deck of cards, but I recognize that symbolically, operationally, in so many ways, the cards are different one from another. Tarot and Lenormand are very, very different.
Yes.
So, what are you going to say to me as a tarot person? How should I learn to read Lenormand? What should I do?
Number one is they complement each other to the max, and they're beautiful together. Lenormand is very, it can be spiritual, it can be anything you want, but it really works best on your day-to-day, everyday, the nitty-gritty, the cars working, not working. My husband's coworkers bothering me. Um, it's got kind of stuff like, what's my husband, is he cheating on me? It just pinpoints. It even tells you description of the person, and I mean, down to the, he's wearing glasses, or he's bald, or he's, bulky, or have chest hair, or, I mean, it's that type of details. And this is what I like about it. Now, tarot is amazing because it goes into your psyche, and it talks about what's going on inside, and what makes that person, cheat, for example, or how do you want to handle this, or what's the best way of you to handle this. I will do it with Lenormand, and then I would do it with tarot. It depends on the person, because you can ask that question for both. The Lenormand would give you, well, you need to stop talking to this person, you need to do this, da 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 da. It gives you like this. And then the tarot will tell you, you need to like take time for yourself. You need to really look deep inside, and it's a totally different advice. So it gives you the both advice that you need. You need the practical advice of what you're gonna actually do in a physical world, and then the tarot will give you what you're gonna actually do on a spiritual level, on a more like more deeper level. Now, I remember, I understand that, back in the 1800 or early, everybody, Robert Place and Mary Gray, they both told me, like, in there, because they're the big guru research people, that the tarot used to be read like Lenormand. It used to be read like that. And then during the time, it has changed. But now, because it has changed, I mean, I believe it's good. I mean, it's good either way. So you can do prediction with tarot also. But I don't think you're going to get if the guy that's going to come, in your life, he's going to have blue eyes or a lot of chest hair, or, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Tarot's not going to give you that.
Mm-hmm.
So when you want to learn to read Lenormand, I always tell my tarot group that you have to really bring it down a million notch. Just don't go to that vast, like, take the little magnifier glass and bring it down to earth, bring it down to the pants, to the shoes. Don't think about, big stuff, and just look at the symbol of the card, of what does that mean. Don't look at the picture, don't look at the little snail, don't look like, just if there's a bouquet, there's a bouquet. That's a gift, is happiness, is joy, there's something good. She has long hair. It depends on the context also. And, that's another majorly important thing, is with Lenormand, you always need context. It's so important. It's more important than anything, the context.
So go further with that. Explain that. Does that mean you must have a question? You must know what's going on in the larger picture?
Yes, when you're doing a reading, small reading, because a lot of people like to do small reading. Now, let's say I'm doing a grand tableau. I'll go back to that. If I'm doing the grand tableau, no, I don't want anything. I don't want anything, because the grand tableau is going to give you everything. everybody's, the person's life in every little, it's like a big giant map, literally. And, oh, so this is what's going on at his work. This is what's going on with his wife. This is what's going on with his children. This is what's going on, with his finances. So it just gives you like this. This is the grand tableau. So no question with the grand tableau. When people are starting to learn those, they want to learn like they want 2, 3, 4, 5 cards, 9 cards. When they're doing that, it's always good to have a specific question. The more specific, the card will only answer if your question was vague, you're going to get a vague answer. You're not going to understand. You're not going to get it. So always, if you don't understand what the cards are saying to you, always go back and check your question. Don't check the cards, check the question. Say, oh, okay, let me rephrase it. So I will get this type of card or that type of card. So you need to know your cards first to know what you want to get for an answer.
Do you have your cards handy?
I do have my cards handy.
Okay, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Okay, and this will be fun. This will be fun because obviously this is pre-recorded. This will be released in about a week. And tomorrow, literally tomorrow, I'm going camping.
Okay.
For the first time in like 5 years.
Okay.
It's part. I'm going to be part of a festival. I'm doing readings at the festival. All of that. That part I'm not worried about. My question is, how is camping going to be? The camping part of camping, and I'll be able to let you know. I'll let everyone know how it turned out. But what do you think? How will camping be for me?
It looks like you're gonna have fun. You're gonna have fun. There's gonna be a lot of talking. I got the birds and the book. This tells me where you're gonna be actually doing reading. And then I got the house, which is like that camping thing. And there's the clover, which tell me, you're gonna have some fun. It's gonna be interesting and fun, and it's funny because the last 2 cards is the clover and the stars. So, which is like, oh, you're gonna have the most fun you're gonna have is actually sitting at night and talking under the stars and all that kind of stuff. So it's the nighttime. It's where it's gonna be really. You're gonna connect or enjoy that night.
Oh, that is such a beautiful reading. That's exactly what I'm hoping will happen. Yeah. And I love that you showed the cards so we could really see on a very practical level how the cards speak. So thank you for that. And I will report and let everyone know how it turned out. Yes. So I've been waiting to ask you for your big announcement. Your book was so popular. Of course, you're going to follow it up with some great thing for us. Tell us what you got cooking.
Okay, so I have been looking for an artist for about a year because I have worked with many artists, amazing, fabulous artists. I counseled and worked with them on Lenormand decks, but I have yet to come up with, I have yet to put my name and my vision and what I want. And there's something in my head that I've been wanting, and I've been looking for a certain type of artist, and I literally have been blessed. I found the amazing artist. She was literally dropped in my lap in my backyard. It's amazing. I am blessed. Her name is Callie French, and she has been helping me to bring the vision, like Lenormand, the Rana George Lenormand, and it's gonna be like an absolutely fabulous deck. I'm so excited about it, and I am super excited that we just signed a contract with the U.S. Games. So that's gonna be like, like super excited. I'm really over them, and I'm so happy with the deck and the way we're working on it, and we are working so hard on it. Every card is taking so many time, and between texting and we meet every week. We sit down at the table and meet in a cafe with the cards, and you see all the cards and everything. And she's amazing. She's able to really get me and get into I mean, she's also psychic and an empath and a tarot reader and to Kabbalah and all that kind of stuff. So this is why I am like super blessed, and we gel together, and she's really able to bring, and God, I mean, bless her, because she's able to handle me, because so it's a blessing on all level. And I have actually, I just announced it not too long ago on Facebook and Instagram and all of that stuff. And I've only shown one card, and there's one card, I'm going to show it right here, and it will be just for you. So if you want to see that card, you're going to have to watch this, because Callie just made it out for me so I can show it to you. And I'm going to show you.
Oh my goodness.
The birds.
The birds.
Why the birds? Because of this and what's going on. Our interview, meeting, negotiation, sitting together, get together, rendezvous, chatting, talking. So
that's the birds.
That's the birds, and I absolutely love it, because this is the hopo bird. I think this is how you say it, the hopo birds. This is the birds of the actual bird that King Solomon talked to, and he brought him information, and everything is happening as a total sync. When she was actually drawing this, and we came up that this is the bird we want and everything, I was talking to a dear friend of mine overseas. And when I was, talking on the phone, so that bird came and just landed like right in front of his feet, and he like snapped a picture for me and sent it to me, and I'm like, oh my God, no way, that's exactly, and he was doing exactly the same pose. So that was a total thing, and I just love it. Isn't it cute?
It is beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing this here on Christiana's Psychic Cafe. Yeah. And what I love the lesson of that. Thank you for the lesson of the birds and why the birds would be an appropriate part.
Interview and everything, yeah.
Oh, that is fabulous. I love that. So let me ask you a question. And as I've said, I'm very new to learning this system. And I've got a few decks now. I'm collecting them, and of course I'm very much looking forward to yours. And I noticed that some modern decks are increasing the number of cards, not by adding a whole new concept of a card, but making more than one lady, or more than one man, or more than one tree, or more than one birds, or something like that. If it's not revealing any secrets, can you tell me if your deck will do this, number one? And number two, what do you think about it in general?
Okay, so let me start with number two first.
Okay.
I am a traditionalist, yes. But I'm a traditionalist with a twist. So I do like the tradition and how you're supposed to read it and all that kind of stuff, but at the same time, I like to evolve, and I like the whole evolvement thing. So I like it. I like that they're doing this. I like that they're adding cards. I like that they give the choice to the reader, because maybe I come from a background that everything is a tool. So it's not, it has to be, but I think it's fun, and it's up to you. You can take the 36 card and use those, and if you don't want to use them, don't use the rest. But if you like to use the rest, hey, why not? I mean, they can sometimes shed extra light. Why not? The two extra men and the two extra women, a lot of people like to use that, and I understand why. Sometimes I do use it, sometimes I don't use them. It's okay. I mean, I think it's a cool idea. And then when they add like an extra tree and all that kind of stuff for you to pick which tree you like, which tree. Usually I get the deck and that has all these extras. I pick the stuff I like. I put the stuff I'm not going to use for now. And I use the deck like this. And sometimes I go back and change it and, add from and mix and match. So I like it. Now, We are definitely going to have 2 extra ladies and 2 extra men. But that's all I'm going to say for now.
Okay, well,
But I'm going to say that. I'm going to say that because um, I have a lot of friends that they will appreciate that. And this is for them.
Perfect. Perfect. And I am sure that everyone joins me in just being so excited for this deck. Now, I wanted to actually mention something, a conversation you and I had a little while ago. You mentioned something that has stuck in my head, having to do with a great way to learn the cards. What you suggested was when watching serial TV shows. You know, a lot of us watch serial TV shows, Game of Thrones or House of Cards or something like that. What do we do?
Yes, that is the most perfect. I tell all my students, you want to practice? Don't practice with the daily, what's going to happen, like when you're beginning, totally beginning. Yes, yes, okay, do the daily, but the actual practice to really feel the card and taste them is when you pull cards on your TV show. If it's, let's say you're watching Game of Thrones, you can pull like maybe cards on Jon Snow, what's going to happen to him this episode. And you can pull 5 cards, you can pull 3 cards, whatever. And then at the end of the episode, you look at the cards and then you match. And this is how when you see, you're like, oh, so this is what happened. That is so interesting. I was watching a show of and one of the one of the whodunit stuff. I don't watch that stuff a lot.
Right.
But I was watching it with one of, with my boy, with my my boy, and he had the deck of cards in his hand, and then he's like, Mom, let's see who the killer is, and I'm like, okay. So he pulled cards. He's like, we're just having fun. This is the whole thing about it, is to really have fun. Mm-hmm. And he pulled, and this is like, I'll never forget this because it's like really amazing, because he pulled the lilies, and he pulled the sun, and he pulled what other card? I think the bear. So he's like, I think, like right away he told me it's an older man, maybe it's a father, and he has a lot of, strength and power because of those 3 cards. And then I'm like, okay, so we'll see. So during the episode, the only man that fit that description was actually the father. And then I'm like, no, there is no way he killed his own kid. No way, He cannot have killed his own kid. There's no way. And the guy was like, part of a mob, so he's very powerful, all that kind of stuff. He was blonde on top of it, so the sun describing. So at the end of the show, when he's like, Mom, see, I told you it was the father. I told you it was the father. So it's you have to have it fun. If you're learning something and you make it fun, you learn it like this. It will be so easy, so quick, so, without even a thought, you'll just get it like this. Why? Because your brain and the cards will kind of click together, like, click, 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 like the clicking of a safe, or, when the clogs, or how they fit. Mm-hmm. So when they fit like this, that's it. You'll be reading it like so quickly without even going in detail. As soon as you look at 2-3 cards together, you'll pull it right out. But you have to have it fun. You have to practice a lot and make it fun. And the only way to really practice a lot is on TV.
Wow. So I love this. Okay. Can we do an exercise with this? Okay, so I have here, this is under the roses, under the roses, and I don't actually watch broadcast TV, but I watch some stuff on Netflix.
Okay.
And so I'm like years behind, so no spoilers, okay. But I'm watching Boardwalk Empire.
Okay.
And I want to know, coming up over, say, the next couple of episodes,
okay,
what will transpire in a particular marriage. Nookie and Margaret are married. I want to know about their marriage over the next episode or two. What
Okay.
should I do?
Well, exactly. But put in your head their
Okay.
marriage and pull, I don't know, 4 cards, 3 cards, 5 cards. Pull 5 cards
5 cards. Okay.
or 3.
Or 3. 5 or 3. Which is better? Which is better?
It's up to how you feel.
Okay, I'm going to go with 3.
Okay. How
Just
about you start with 3, and if we want more explanation, we go.
okay.
This is another thing. Don't stop at, if you just wanted to pull 3. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Focus.
Okay. So, the sun, the lilies, and the snake.
Okay.
The sun, the lilies, and the snake. Now
This.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Are you?
Yeah. No, I want you. Go
The
ahead.
sun is one of the positive cards, but after it comes the lily. So there's that saying, the lily talks about time and kind of a history. So this says that, well, there's a good history, there is a good base, there's a good long thing that's been going on, and then it ends with a snake. So there's gonna be some deceit or lies or cheating or lies or trouble.
That is the nature of the relationship. So that's
now.
Hmm?
Pull 2 more now.
2 more. Now, where would I put them? Okay, so
Snake.
after the snake?
Yeah.
So just continue the story that way?
Yeah.
Okay. The garden and the dog.
Okay. The garden is bringing more people into that marriage. And with the dog, that's kind of emphasizing that there's actually, the marriage is 2 people. The garden makes it like this. So there's there's actually more than 2 people. And the dog is kind of like highlighting it. Yes, there's going to be. So this kind of, for me, it explains the snake a little bit more, that the trouble is because of more people, not because of financial or not because of, let's say you got the bear and the coffin. I will say, well, the trouble is because of financial situation. There's some financial loss going to be. Any like every card will be like, it will explain different, but the garden is bringing, garden is a group of people, so there's like people looking outside, and then with the dog, this is like another person coming, because really we don't know, because when you're reading for 2 people, the man and the woman are the 2 people, the dog will be a 3rd person, so there is a 3rd person that's coming into the mix.
So someone's cheating.
Somebody's going to be looking and having fun. I mean, there's flirtation. Yeah.
Okay. That's which is as has been the case and what we expected. Now, let me ask you, because in this particular show, the gentleman that I asked about is a politician. Okay. So when we talk about a lot of people, not only is he having an affair, and I suspect that his wife is going to be having an affair soon too, and this makes me think that even more. But a lot of their marriage seems to be based on public perception, having to do with the political piece of it. Would this speak to that as well?
Okay, no. See, this is a very good question. Your question was what's going to transpire with their marriage. So we're going to keep it as what's going to transpire with their marriage. You don't go into his political, you don't go into the other stuff, but one good point is, because it's the garden, so it might be both or it might be one, so you really can't tell. You're going to have to pull separate. Is it going to be the guy? Is it going to be the girl? So you're going to have to pull separate to find out. But because it's the garden, it kind of brings them both. And it's just talking still about the marriage. So those cards will only answer the question you are talking about. Don't go off to other stuff.
And so that's really, if we want to talk about an operational difference between tarot and Lenormand,
That's it.
right there. Oh, that's brilliant. That is
This is
so.
when I tell, just bring it, focus on the question.
Mm,
Bring it all in and focus on the question. I don't want to know about his life, what's going on with his life or with his family or with his extended family and all that kind of stuff or work or finances. Because of that, you are only asked about the marriage. So that's the only thing you're going to answer.
got it. Got it, got it, got it. So I have a tarot student who has recently kind of turned on to Lenormand, and
Uh-huh.
he is saying that this is going to be easier because there are fewer cards. That's like his whole thing is he wants this system because there are fewer cards and he thinks it's going to be easier. What do you think?
Okay. Everything is easy and everything is hard. It depends on how you look at it. It depends on how you view it. It depends on how you treat it. It depends on whatever you do. If you practice tarot, it's going to be easy. If it's 30 cards or if it's 100 cards, whatever it is, it's going to be easy. It's not, I think it's the same. It's all have to do with practice. It really, that's really what it boils down to is practice and how you perceive it. If you think of it like, oh my God, it's going to be hard. Well, you know what? Yes, it's going to be hard if that's how you're thinking. And if you're going to sit down and make it like work and oh, I'm studying and no, that's not going to, you're going to hit a wall. You're going to be tired. You're going to be like, this is not working. I don't want to do this anymore. But if you make it fun, even with tarot, just make it fun, fun. As long as you're having fun, you enjoy it, you'll blossom. You'll fly.
Perfect. Beautiful. So people who want to read your book, of course, the book is available everywhere for your Kindle. It's available in paperback. You can get it on Amazon.
Barnes & Noble, Llewellyn, Book Depository, anywhere you name it, you'll find it is everywhere, all over the world, everywhere.
And that's The Essential Lenormand by Rana George. There it is. Absolutely beautiful. Any idea on when we'll be seeing the new deck?
Well, we're still working on it. So that's going to be time until we finish. We're, I think, halfway through the cards, around. And by the time, they go to Llewellyn and then Llewellyn take their time. So, the printing time kind of take time. So, honestly, I don't know yet.
Okay.
Llewellyn tells me. I'm sorry, U.S. Games.
U.S. Games. Well, that's Llewellyn. And, we are so lucky in our community to have these big publishers, Llewellyn, U.S. Games. There's a few others. There's Schiffer. Yeah. And what's great is they really are big publishers. They do great work, but we know the people. We can talk to them. You can talk to Barbara Moore at Llewellyn. You can talk to Lynn Arroyo and Stuart Kaplan at U.S. Games. You can talk to these people, and we are so blessed to have that.
Yes, that's amazing. Barbara Moore, thank you, love you. It's because of her, this book's here. Really. And now, thank you, Stuart Kaplan. Thank you, Lynn. Love you. And, thank you to Kelly French. Don't you love them? They're so cute. See how they're talking to each other. They're like telling each other story. Oh, also, this is about gossip, and they look like they're gossiping.
Well, and it's funny because that came up about my camping trip because I'm expecting to see some old friends and catch up on some old gossip.
Yes. So it was the birds in the book. So you guys are going to be talking a lot about, esoteric stuff, huh?
We are. We absolutely are. Absolutely. And
the sky.
For people who would like to study with you directly, for people who would like to book a reading, a coaching session, they can go to your website, RanaGeorge.com, and take care of that right there.
Yeah, Rana George, RanaGeorge.com. I'm everywhere. Well, not everywhere. I'm on Facebook and I'm on Instagram. I don't tweet yet. I don't Snapchat yet.
Yes.
And I don't YouTube yet, even though a lot of people are like, come on, start YouTubing. It's already a lot. Like Facebook is already a lot, and Instagram is a lot. It's like a whole world that you cannot. It just. But I'm loving those, and this is what I'm doing now. And you can find me. I think on Instagram is Rana George 1, and Facebook is Rana George, and my website is ranageorge.com. So I'm really very easy to find, and I'm very I'm always there. I'm always helping. I get a lot of questions. I get all of them as much as I can. I answer everybody as much as I can when I can. And I'm so happy that everybody understand that life goes on also. So
It sure does.
that's why sometimes you see me posting on Facebook. But everybody's been very supportive. Everybody's been very understanding, and I am really blessed. So thank you. Thank you for everybody, and thank you for the love and the support, and it's amazing.
Well, thank you so much for sharing some stories with us, for sharing some information with us, and, most importantly, for sharing these amazing cards with us. I think that for so many of us, our lives are richer because of the work you've done, and I really want to thank you for that. And I want to thank you for being here with me today on Christiana's Psychic Cafe.
Thank you so much. I want to pull one last card just for you.
Yay.
And you got the Anchor.
Okay.
And this is for me. It's saying that just keep doing what you're doing. This is a legacy. You are really creating a very long life. This is the stuff like we're heritage and long things. So keep at it. Keep doing what you're doing. You're really good and anchored, and So it's really good.
Well, thank you so
much for having me. I'm gonna be in New York next week. No, the 22nd for Reader Studio.
For Reader Studio, I will not. I have, I know Walden Ruth Ann. I do end up at different conferences from time to time, but I have yet to make it to Reader Studio. So have a wonderful time. Say hi to everyone for me.
Will.
And one day we will meet in person.
You have to. And I'm gonna be at BATS, San Francisco with Thalassa. And I'm gonna be presenting there. So
wonderful.
Come see me in the West Coast or the East Coast.
Terrific. Thank you so much, Rana George.
Thank you. Thank you.